Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope you all are doing well. Man, what a day. I was going to discuss what how I have my PTSD from yesterday's anniversary of the J and then 6 situation and what was going on. What is going on in Greenland? The shadow tanker. I'll say it's a war going on in the North Sea and the Gulf. We'll see what's going on with all that stuff. And also this individual who drove quite some way, from what I understand, to go to the Twin Cities and meet their fate. You all know who I'm talking about, the lady who went to Minnesota and got shot. That's the only way I can put it. But what do I do while I'm waiting for folks to come into the chats? I play videos. You know, read this quote from Thomas Sowell and take it to heart. But anyway, so you have yourself some time to get a I guess you can still have an eggnog. I guess whatever you want, a beer or a glass of wine. I'm having a cup of coffee. But anyway, folks, I'll play some videos and then we will do what? We will be like butter and get on a roll.
So you're telling me that DHS has acknowledged that Venezuela and their rehabilitation centers with the and go to the United States. In writing said, we're processing them in and have no.
Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning. Because today, we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government while the people have borne the cost. Washington flourished, but the people did not share in its.
What? The Insurrection Act, under what conditions or terms would you?
Well, I'd do it if it was necessary. So far, it hasn't been necessary, but we have an Insurrection Act for a reason. If I had to enact it, I'd do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up, sure, I'd do that. That our cities are safe.
Storm zone. Yes, sir. I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined. Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement is destroying our nation. But the tables must turn, and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. How you all doing tonight? Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it so much. Let's see who came by to see me tonight. Let me see. I'm going to move Thomas Sowell, and I'm going to put up a picture in case any lefties come in and have a question about what this stream is about. There you go. How you doing? How you like that? But anyway, we're going to get into this situation with the shooting. Along with a lot of other stuff. How you doing, Sherry Simpson? Nice to see you. Thank you for joining me tonight, Colette, Sissy, Ann, Todd, Gary. Let's see. Sometimes I say people twice because there's a lot of different names. Hi, Rebecca. Wayne's here giving me a thumbs up. Wayne, you were the last one to go by. Buy me a coffee. I do appreciate it. Wait a minute. I haven't set up my booms yet. Let me see. There we go. Let's see if it works. Pow! I just got to make sure it's working because sometimes it wants to download. And I got a new applause thing. I put applauses up. Sometimes at what some might think inappropriate times, but sometimes I like to clap about stuff. But anyway, Cole's here. Flannel cheese. Pappy Two Bears. Ha ha! Yeah, it's gonna be payback time. Hi, Ann, how you doing? Oh boy, I tell you, I got an interesting thing for you all to think about. Let me finish saying hi to Darla and Debbie in the house, as they used to say. Melinda's here. Miss Linda Sue's here. So. Let me just put a little seed in your brain. You know, remember before I get into what's going on internationally, which affects us directly in our pocketbook and the future of our country, don't you know? Of course you know. But I was watching a video. I haven't watched him in a while, but do you all remember me talking about a guy who did videos on disability? And he'll take people's calls. He'll do live streams and take people's calls and stuff like that. I had watched him in, I don't know, over a month because he had something interesting on about people getting caught with food stamp fraud, getting caught with BS disability claims. But he is an advocate. He's an attorney that helps people get whatever program they need, whether it's regular Social Security, whatever. I don't know. But so I watched about maybe over the years, probably two of his long form videos, and he put up a short yesterday, and I've never seen him put up a short. Hi, Mountain, how you doing? And let's see. Rain's here. So he put up a short yesterday. Tell me what you think about this. Just give it time to settle in your brain because I'm gonna get to it in a minute. What he does is he tries to let people gently know. He tries to be gentle about it, what they're doing to screw up themselves. But anyway, here he is in his gentle way.
I've gotten to work with quite a few individuals now who are connected with those types of, I call them training camps, but basically they feed the phrases over and over into these minds, and they pay these individuals to show up, be part of training exercises, and then they basically will go ahead and pay them, usually it's under the table, to go ahead and go out there and not riot, but to protest. And sometimes it evolves into a riot and stuff like that. And that's why, unfortunately, at the end of the day, you know, especially with these things like Antifa, stuff like that, that's why you're seeing people who are funded with SSDI or SSI benefits, they're still able to go out and get this extra money to support, you know, basically their monthly benefits. What's interesting is
to support their monthly benefits. He doesn't come out and accuse, but he's saying they take under the table money to go to training camps and then go to these protests, but they're on disability. So he's kind of letting people know you probably don't want to do that because you'll get in trouble, right? That's what I'm getting out of it. And how does that apply to what we're seeing? We're seeing using funds and influence and money wherever they can get it from. They are very practiced. Okay, it's an intricate web, and I think we're going to learn stuff that applies to what is going on, what happened today. I see Mountain said, what time am I in? I'm on unknown time, but I do refer to things on Washington time, which is Eastern Standard Time. But the world goes around Washington time, okay? Which is right now Trump time. I put on here, she chose poorly. And I got this freeze frame because you see the exhaust flying out the back. You see agents in contact with the vehicle. What else do you notice about this photograph? What else do you notice about this photograph? Hi, Felix. How you doing? Oh, they already have. Infiltration goes both ways. Yeah. We have patriots in trusted places. Hi, Tammy. Nice to see you. So anyway, what else do you notice about the picture? Somebody out in the front there smoking a cigarette? No. That is from a gunshot. Smoke from a gunshot. And we'll play the video. I know y'all have seen it a lot of times, but, you know, hey, we'll play it and talk about it. But you know what? We were worrying about the focus was on what was going on in Minnesota as far as the fraud. And the focus was on Greenland. The focus was on Venezuela. The focus was on Iran. The focus was on a lot of things that affect us directly. Now the focus has all been pushed over to this individual. And there was an interesting choice of words in the Ruski media that I want to show you all too. A very interesting choice of words concerning the shadow fleet of oil tankers. Donald Trump was putting out big announcements about the Venezuelans releasing 50 million barrels of oil. Somebody put this up about this shooting thing. If the cop weren't in front of the vehicle, he wouldn't have been able to make this SHOT, and there it is. And I heard later on, this is Tammy or Sarah Rose, heard later on that the second one or third got the mirror. And as you can see there close up, the mirror is damaged on the corner. So yeah, that's true. Quick shots, pow, pow, pow. That was it. Three quick shots. So anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. But do you think they might have been, they say they came up from Colorado. Yeah, she hit, Mountain, she hit him. There, I got a video of it, and I can zoom in a lot. A lot of people that show videos, they're kind of stuck in a little square. They can't, but what I use, I can zoom right in. And we'll take a look at it, and I'll fiddle with it, but I can slow it down too. But anyway, we'll get to that. She was in the wrong. And did she go to those training camps? Okay. Well, I might as well go ahead and play it. Here's somebody. I don't know who this person is, but apparently a friend. Right here. Think about what Walter was saying about these people going to training camps and what this person says right here.
They clearly wanted her out of there because she was the main car leading the protest, is my understanding. I talked to another guy who was driving behind her, but she was very successful in blocking traffic. She was doing what she was set out to do, and so they wanted to get her the hell out of there. Yeah.
So it looked like she was impeding ICE vehicles.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
That was her goal.
She was doing what she was supposed to do. Was that her assignment? Is that what you're telling us? She had an assignment? So we will get to that in a minute. Yeah, Miss Bendersu, he did get hit. I had a friend that level, and the car stopped, and it knocked him backwards, but didn't knock him down. And of course, his knees hurt. But do you know what happened? The airbag went off. The airbag went off in the vehicle. So we got videos. We'll go over them in a minute. But anyway, let's see what was happening. Oh. Another thing that you all are my witness on. You're my witness. See if anybody can identify this person. I brought this person up a little over a week ago. Nobody's talked about him in years. You all are my witness. Nobody on social media has talked about this individual for years. Do you all remember who he is? I just recently mentioned him a couple of times in a live stream, and I said, what's he doing still walking the face of this earth? I don't see any. I know there's a delay, but I'm giving you guys a little time. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, boom, boom. Hi, Linda. How are you doing? Oh, my gosh. Tammy said, all right, I'll stop the suspense. Usually Todd pops in with these answers. Mountain says, I don't know who he is. I said he should have gone the way of the Rosenbergs, him and many others that we have been letting get by with life sentences. Hold on a second. Let me find his story. His story. Oh, my. Where did that go? I edited the photo so that moves it in the lineup. I still don't see any guesses. But let's see if I got it right here. Let's see if this is it. No. I'll get to it in a minute. I will find it. No, that's not it. Feel free to guess. You know, you're still open to guessing. See if here he is. Anybody win a Cupid doll? Anybody win a Cupid doll? No. Robin. Nice to see you. It is the most famous KGB agent in the United States. Remember? Aldrich Ames. And I said, what the hell's he doing walking the face of the earth, along with others I mentioned over the years, because we haven't done an execution since the Rosenbergs got the chair. And I said, we need to start doing it. Too many lives have been lost. He died in an American prison. He passed away on January 5th at the age of 84. I doubt a week went by since I mentioned him. Ames and was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. The investigation revealed that he compromised more than 100 U.S. intelligence operations and exposed the identities of over 30 agents overseas. Hi, Don Rowe. How you doing? Over 30 agents working for the West, I'm sorry. According to U.S. intelligence agency, this led to the deaths of at least 10 CIA sources. That's the figure I told you all, correct? Ames began cooperating with Soviet intelligence in 1985. He went 10 years almost, passing on the names of American agents to the KGB for an initial reward of $50,000. In the KGB, he was codenamed Bell. Over 9 years, by his own admission, he received about $2.5 million. And I said, he's the one that put the final nail in the coffin of a patriot, a Russian general that went by the code name Top Hat, who gave us very valuable information and didn't ask for a damn thing. And he was executed because of Aldrich Ames. So I am not going to miss him. And I'm wondering if he didn't get a sped up exit, He spent the money on a luxurious lifestyle, buying a house for $540,000, a Jaguar car, traveling abroad, and making expensive purchases, despite his official salary never exceeding $70,000 a year. Where? The C.I.A. According to investigators, the motive for the espionage was debts and financial problems. Ames began his career at the CIA in 1962. My dad was already working for IBM, working in the agency for over 30 years and eventually heading the Soviet Counterintelligence Division. A traitor, and he is expired. And like I say, I don't know if they helped him along. He would have been 83 or 84. Here's another photograph of him looking at his paperwork. Aldrich Ames, most damaging CIA traitor in history. 84, yeah, he dies at 84. So anyway, just to give you all a little update and let you know, I got my ear to the ground. Now, don't I? Didn't I just mention him? So anyway, here we go. This guy is in charge of NATO right here. The NATO expansion. What's his name? He seems like a nice guy. Let's see what he's talking about. His name is Gunther Fehlig. Austria's NATO Enlargement Committee Chairman, Gunther Fehlig, says there will be consequences if the U.S. takes Greenland. If you take Greenland, you have to leave. He is saying here that we're going to get thrown out of every base in Europe, the U.S.
If you take it, we take everything. line from Romania to all the other military bases will be confiscated. Power since World War II. If you take Greenland, you have to leave. It's very simple, Mrs. Miller. This is the leverage we have. You need the spaces for global power protection. You won't have it. And we can defend ourselves very well, and we will do that without the US nuclear shield, without the US troops in Europe, without the American bases. We will simply run these bases ourselves, and we run your boys home into Chicago and Ohio. And goodbye. If you go extreme, we go extreme as well. Be sure about it.
Boy, you got a lot to learn. You think you're going to talk to Donald Trump like that? He doesn't want troops over there anyway. You all been milking us like a damn cow since World War II. Here's this report. The order is clear. Danish soldiers in Greenland must go to counterattack if the United States wants to take Greenland with power. They're going to send a dog sled out. Danish soldiers are understanding orders to engage any hostile activity on Greenland, including unannounced U.S. activity. Well, what will Trump do? He'll just announce it. Okay? He'll just announce it. The Standing Order of 1952 is confirmed to be in force by both Danish Defense Command and Ministry of Defense to news site Berlinsk, whatever. So they're flexing their muscles. We'll see what happens to them, what Trump has up his sleeve. But don't you know, hours before this incident in Minnesota, that the scandal with Tim Walz got very pronounced, and public disclosure that they were just handing out millions of dollars willy-nilly and then trying to cover their tracks. Here's the report on that.
Against fraud. The performance audit shows the Behavioral Health Administration sent millions of dollars out the door in grants without making proper checks into who was receiving them. And that is not even the most jaw-dropping finding. Lou Raguse has tonight's top story. Lou?
Julie, according to the nonpartisan legislative auditor, this is another case of mismanagement of taxpayer money. But perhaps the most explosive revelation is that managers within DHS, the Department of Human Services, tried to cover their tracks by backdating and creating new documents.
But I do want to talk about what a serious issue this is and how it is, frankly, unacceptable.
Another sobering report by the Office of the Legislative Auditor, this one concerning the which issues grants to providers treating mental health and drug and alcohol addiction, hundreds of millions of dollars each year. The audit found them issuing grants to applicants without a bidding process.
So what we saw is that there was multiple entities that could have been eligible, and they chose not to provide a justification for why they were picking those.
This report is quite stunning.
One outrageous example, the auditors found a grantee that was paid $672,000 for 1 month of work without any info on what they do. And the audit says the grant manager who paid it then left DHS a couple days later and became a paid consultant for that company.
To me, that's criminal.
Auditor Judy Randall says she was most shocked that during the audit, multiple DHS managers backdated or created new documents to try to cover their tracks.
Frankly, in the 27 plus years I've been with OLA, I have never seen this before. I will say we have had suspicions periodically, but we have never been able to prove it, to document it, and we did in this case, and it's very troubling.
Temporary DHS Commissioner Shireen Gandhi's response.
I was shocked to hear this information in the exit conference, and it is absolutely unacceptable that any staff would provide anything other than accurate representation of the work done to an auditor.
Now, there were a lot of questions from lawmakers about whether this audit should result in criminal investigations. So we'll see what comes from that. The Office of the Legislative Auditor provides recommendations both to the department and to lawmakers in case law changes are needed. Just one more time of what the auditor said regarding this fabrication of documents. She called it a systemic problem within DHS.
I mean, Lou, it just seems like every time you think it can't get worse, it does. I do think this is jaw-dropping. You mentioned that they were talking about criminal investigations. I think I speak for a lot of people watching right now who really want there to be some kind of accountability. Did you get any sense from that meeting today or in talking to any of your sources that there actually will be accountability?
Well, no, that's something that's going to require some follow-up, because one problem the auditors had is they didn't have subpoenas to issue to people that no longer work for the BHA within the DHS, and so they couldn't bring those people in and question them. And so it would take an outside agency such as law enforcement
To look into it.
Yeah, all the people at that hearing was acting shocked. Man, I see this fluctuation in viewers. Be 40 or 50 of them come in and then drop right out. They want to get to the video of the lady getting shot. Well, you know what? The world isn't rotating around some lunatic. All right, I'll get to that. There's other stuff happening in this world, and that's what I'm going to cover. And, I'd rather they not even show up than pull this kind of crap with tuning in and tuning out. But I tell you what, there is a tanker war going on, or was going on. And there is an interesting phrase. Communications. Let me find it. Let's see. Let's see this one here. Let me start with this one. The White House claims the tanker Mariner does not belong to any country and was operating under what? You all see it right there. And you know it's a keyword, so misspell it. But it says false. And then flag. Right, folks? We all know the meaning of that. And within hours of that statement, we had the situation in Minnesota. The U.S. is not satisfied with its current level of presence in the Arctic, and Greenland is needed for greater control, the White House says. Here. How things change. Russia has sent a submarine and a number of ships to escort a tanker from a shadow fleet, which the U.S. tried to seize off the coast of Venezuela and is now pursuing in the Atlantic, reports the Wall Street Journal. The tanker, Bella 1, tried for more than 2 weeks to circumvent the U.S. blockade against Venezuela, but was unable to dock and load up. To board it in December and headed out into the Atlantic Ocean. Now it's being pursued in international waters by the U.S. Coast Guard. Meanwhile, the tanker has been re-registered as Russian. The vessel was renamed Mariner, and the crew painted a Russian flag on its side. According to U.S. sources, Russia has since appealed to the U.S. to stop pursuing its ship. On Tuesday, the Russian Foreign Ministry stated it is with concern monitoring the situation around the tanker. The ship is currently moving approximately 300 miles south of Iceland toward the North Sea. A Russian submarine and other naval assets are coming to its aid. So it sounded like a conflict was brewing, right? You can bet that everybody over in the EU was licking their chops, right? Well, something happened. Something happened. First, you see this helicopter. What is that? It's a helicopter, right? By the way, Judging by the photo, a MH-6M Little Bird helicopter from the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, SOAR, of the U.S. Army was boarding the ship, whose equipment was transferred to the Mildenhall Air Base in the UK the day before. Most likely on board the Little Bird is a group of military personnel from the NSWDG, also known as DevGru and SEAL Team 6. I believe that was a reconnaissance because this is the footage of the actual seizure of the tanker. And recall, I'll play the whole clip. You will see the crew getting lined up on the bridge, okay? You'll see the SEAL Team 6 dropping down from the helicopter, and it is not the one you saw in the photograph. Remember, when I showed pictures of the last time they boarded and put out military photographs, that they blurred the rotor assembly, okay, of the helicopter right in the center, top center of the crew cab, and they also blurred the tail fin. Now, they don't do it here because it is infrared and you cannot really make out any detail, but you can see that there's some serious avionics, electronics, and engine work going on in those very same compartments. Look at it. Look at that baby. Man. And you'll see them lining up on the bridge in a minute. Hands on their heads. Yeah, it kind of looks like rocket engines, doesn't it? On both sides. They're having to cut the door open to the bridge. You see that? They're cutting the door open to the bridge. Is what it looks like. Either that or somebody's having a cookout in there. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell. But anyway, so much for Russia saying, oh, we're going to protect our ship and we got a submarine, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Well, an embargo's embargo. We took it and we're going to keep it and live with it. And anything else that comes out of there, we're embargoing. We have NATO threatening our U.S. bases. We have Denmark threatening to open fire on our forces if we do anything they don't agree with in Greenland. And we have all this fraud coming out. We had Donald Trump post those very damning videos about election fraud. We also had the White House post a special video concerning January and then 6, right here. Want to know the truth? The White House, thousands of Americans paid the price for the failures that they didn't create. President Trump delivered pardons. Pelosi admitted responsibility. The media lied. Now see the real January 6th story. And all that stuff that I said in this, they want to go by the wayside. All the situation with Venezuela, the situation with Colombia, the situation with Iran, and everything. They want to go by the wayside. Look here. Look here. What's going on with this? Who's that? The U.S. is threatening to KILL or kidnap the head of Venezuela's interior ministry, Diosdado Cabello, according to Reuters, who you can't trust. According to the agency, Cabello could be at the top of the target list if he does not help acting President Delcy Rodriguez meet the U.S. demands and maintain order. Earlier, Trump threatened Venezuela with a second attack if the U.S. demands are not met. So I think that's Reuters trying to stir up people. The USA is no longer the main ally of the European Union, stated the forgotten and abandoned Josep Borrell. Well, I see so much fluctuation, but as long as my main people stick with me, that's fine. The EU representative told the Financial Times, we know who is no longer our allies. We still hope we are mistaken and the problem will disappear. What problem are you talking about? We know what needs to be done. We just need to, damn it, do it. What are you talking about? The Russians say, guess who they're talking about? What kind of language is that? They hope the problem will disappear and we know what needs to be done. We just need to, damn it, do it? Sounds like somebody from Midas Trash Pail Network. Anyway, I'm going to skip over that stuff. We're going to get right down to what happened in Minnesota. Yes, we'll never forget, Debbie. That's right. Please misspell that term, or my video will get a notation on the bottom of it, or worse. Now, I'm going to play this guy right here. And he's foul-mouthed because he's a damn godless liberal commie. So I'm going to play it. But I want to remind you all of something. I was perusing the testimony in the Nuremberg trials. And one of the defendants was by the name of Ernst, E-E-R-N-S-T, Ernst Kaltenbrunner. Do you all remember that name? Everybody remembers Hermann Göring and names like that, Keitel and Jodl. Have you all ever heard of Ernst Kaltenbrunner? He got his neck stretched. He was underneath Himmler, and he was in charge of the SS in Berlin, the Berlin office. One of the charges they had against him was inciting public hostility. Hostility, a very specific word. You know, they could have said he was inciting public anger. They could have said he was inciting public outrage, public disdain, whatever. But let me tell you, if I'm angry at you, that's one thing. But if I'm hostile to you, that's quite another. So that was enough of an offense. He didn't unlawfully pull a trigger or flip a switch or do anything except run an office and agree with the final solution. Okay. So anyway, he incited public hostility. When you saw Walsh in the press conference today, when you saw this idiot in the press conference today, can you think public hostility, which equals violence?
And I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave. It's on you to make sure that further damage, further loss of life and injury is not done.
So he is blaming ICE. He's claiming ICE caused the loss of life and will cause more. This is that character Frey, Mayor Frey. But what else is he doing? He's given aid and comfort. Okay? He's giving support to people who shouldn't even be in this country at all. He's calling them fellow residents or whatever word he uses, but he doesn't use the word citizen. And you know, about a half an hour to an hour before the shooting, this was what was going on. Let me find it. And they said the situation in Minneapolis was tense. Oh, no, this is Greg Gutfeld. I'll play him in a minute. Let me find the video about it, things being tense in Minneapolis. Come on now, studio. Play ball with me. Here we go. This is what was going on before anybody got shot. From Freedom TV. And you tell me this would have happened without them running their mouths, without them vilifying ICE, vilifying Donald Trump, vilifying people who voted for Donald Trump. They're inciting this. And this is before she got shot. This is what ICE agents were putting up with. Trained, a lot of them been to training camps.
Fuck off. All on video. You fucking kill someone else! Don't get killed for this. It's not worth it, Fuck you! Go another way! Move! Go another way! Move! Go another way! Behind us! Move!
See, now this guy in that lineup that I just had there, that's where the strategy comes in. I told you all about kicking them right square right in the crack. Okay, you just walk up behind them after you warned them and told them. And this one right here, you come up behind them and you plant one. But anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm just saying, man, I wish I was back in my salad days.
Get out of the way! Get out! Chris, get out the way! Get out the way of the truck! Move! Move! Fuck you! Fuck you, Pluto! Fuck you! Nazis! 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 Nazis!
That's a brand new truck. A brand new truck.
Brings back memories. Get out of there. Hey, let the vehicle leave. You guys are breaking families, man. You can't be doing that. Get back now. Fuck off!
Now the liberal media is saying they were throwing snowballs but it really was ice balls, and they were knocking glass out, okay? Striking people in the heads with that stuff. But anyway, the key is get them out of the way to where they don't want to come back in the way, okay? This is what I wanted to use for my thumbnail right here. I was going to put this in my thumbnail. Expand this out real good. They're getting blasted right in the face. I got a clip of that, but it's got a copyrighted music on it. But it's funny, they put it on a loop of him getting blasted in the face. Should I play it? Let me play it. Let me see if I can mute the music, and I'll sing a song to it. No. There we go. Did I mute it? I don't know. Let's see. I got the music muted before it came in because they will pause my video till I edit it out, and that takes hours. But anyway, so that was all before this person got shot. So then we find out here, Citizen Free Press put up, breaking, the wife of Renee Nicole Good. This is a referencing the video we watched. The 37-year-old Minneapolis shooting victim who attempted to run over an ICE officer appears, excuse me, to have been outside the vehicle filming as her wife blocked ICE vehicles. She is seen wearing a flannel shirt. I'll play that for you. Walking around the vehicle and recording ICE officers. She later runs back to the vehicle to check on Renee. Afterwards, she tells a nearby man, "That's my wife." You know, I thought the person that lost their life, threw away their life, was married to a man. But now I find that, all right, it's this kind of people, right? When he asks if she knows any of her wife's relatives she could call, she responds, "We're new here. I don't have people. I can't even breathe right now." Why was she outside the vehicle filming ICE while her wife was blocking ICE officers? Terrible. Well, then it turned out they're from Colorado. What are they doing here? Are they independently wealthy where they can drive from Colorado to Minnesota, officers throughout the day, throughout the morning, and apparently she may have had some of both of them were on disability checks. It wouldn't surprise me one damn bit. Now, if you can cart your rear end all the way across this country to another state, run around in the snow and ice screaming and yelling, driving a vehicle in an obstructive manner and an offensive manner, you're not disabled, okay? But that's how they pay and maintain their private army. But anyway, here she is right when it happens. You'll see the actual shooting, and you'll see her responses afterwards. She's wearing the plaid shirt.
Get the fuck out of our neighborhood!
This lady got blood. They don't, she was in the car with her, bro. Or she tried to save her or something. Somebody. Hey, was you riding with her? Did you call any of your people yet?
We're new here. I don't have.
So you don't got none of her family members or anybody number? Do you know anybody on her Facebook? Alright. Damn.
No, it wasn't her actual job, Don Rowe. Because a lot of you may not have been here when I played. Listen to what he says. He works with people on disability. And he posted this yesterday.
I've gotten to work with quite a few individuals now who are connected with those types of, I call them training camps, but basically they feed the phrases over and over into these minds. And they pay these individuals to show up, be part of training exercises, and then they basically will go ahead and pay them, usually it's under the table, to go ahead and go out there and not riot, but to protest. And sometimes it evolves into a riot and stuff like that. And that's why, unfortunately, at the end of the day, you know, especially with these things like Antifa, stuff like that, that's why you're seeing people who are funded with SSDI or SSI benefits, they're still able to go out and get this extra money to support, you know, basically their monthly benefits. What's interesting is
support their monthly benefits. Getting paid under the table. And don't forget, I'm sure you all are aware of it though, if you conspire to commit a crime, it doesn't matter what it is, and this is liable as the one who pulled the trigger. You're liable. You're criminally liable for the loss of life. If you planned on going to steal a pack of gum and things to go around and interfere with federal officers. So anyway, I really think that's important to play that video. Look here. Who's this idiot? Representative. And look who is putting this video out. Midas Trash Network. Midas Trash Network. I want to see, it's a 1-minute video. His name's Dan Goldman, put out by Midas Trash Network. I think they're going to have some culpability for inciting public hostility, I believe, the way Midas Trash Network has been operating. But anyway, here is Dan Goldman, a representative in Minnesota.
Invading our cities, using excessive force lawlessly with new agents without proper training. And sadly, this was not unexpected, but it is egregious. It was an outright murder. And the fact that the administration is trying to defend the ICE officer when everyone can see with their own eyes that car was trying to get away because it still turned away from the officer after she was shot in the head. So the fact that they are arguing that somehow terrorism, much less an attack on...
Did you hear what he just said? Did you hear what he just said? She turned her vehicle after she got shot in the head. And that was one of the points I was going to bring up, was that when you get popped in the gourd, you ain't doing nothing. It's reflex and you're out. You're done. She turned after she got popped in the head. And so that means she was going directly at the officer until she got popped in the head. You just heard it. But here, he's already called them untrained, invaders, lawless. He's inciting public hostility towards those agents.
ICE is preposterous. This officer not only needs to be fired and suspended, but based on the video, he needs to be charged with murder.
And do you think that will happen?
I have no idea what will happen.
Do you need to look at the Homeland Security budget as a result?
I think we will have to, yes.
Man, I wish I was there. I would curse. I would call him every name in the damn book. So yeah, you heard it from his own mouth. The only thing that made her turn the wheel was getting popped in the head, according to him. What's this one? Oh, this is the, yeah. This is her right here. Right here. Renee Good. Renee Good. Poet and writer and wife and mom and SH and that's it. Guitar strummer from Colorado, experiencing Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yeah, you experienced it, all right. But anyway, here's the video. Here's the video from one angle. And, you know, keep this in mind too, folks. You remember when we were kids and somebody would be bouncing a basketball? Hi, Stanton, how you doing? You would hear the ball hit the pavement. You look over at your friend. The ball was back touching his hand. Am I right or am I wrong? When somebody bouncing a ball, you hear the noise because sound is slower than light travel. Okay? You weren't that far away, maybe 50 feet, and you would see the ball not match up with the hitting the pavement sound because sound takes time to travel. Keep that in mind with these videos because if they try to match up the sound of the pop, pop, pop to what you see in the video, it may just be a fraction of a second. It will be a fraction of a second because it doesn't matter what makes the sound. You can't say, oh, the sound was from a bullet, so the sound is going to be faster than a basketball. No, sound is sound. It travels at a steady speed, no matter what causes the sound or how loud the sound is. It will travel at the same speed. Just a little point. But anyway, here we go. I know you've seen it 1,000 times. I could play this one slow. But I tell you one that's more telling. Let me see where I've got it here in the studio. The one from a different angle. Well, somebody got it from their bedroom window, I believe. Maybe I don't have that one. Wait a minute. Man, there's so much going on in the world. Let me see. This is it right here. This is it. I'll play it at the regular size. Then, if y'all want me to, I'll experiment with it, blowing it up and slowing it down. What do you all think Gravoy was talking about? I don't know. Think it's the airbag, or some people say it was a reflection of the sky. I don't know. Yeah, Sparky, the denser the air does matter. density. But anyway, let's see. Let's blow this up a little bit. Blow it up a lot of bit. All right. And let's play it at regular speed. I don't want to leave anything out. You see the vehicle on the top, well, mid-top left-hand side. We'll go at regular speed, see what we get. Daggone the camera. Let me try it again. The camera switched up on me right at the last second, right when the shots were fired. Let's try it again. Where is that? There it is. All right. Well, let's try it this way. I'll do it regular speed, see what we get. Were you able to see whether he was hit? I'm going to slow it down when it goes to rewind. I'm going to slow it down and keep an eye on the bottom. Let me move this up a little bit. All right, about right there. All right, I'm going to slow it up. Let me see what I can do with the speed. I don't know. I haven't tried this before. So let's try it now. No, it doesn't look like I can do anything with speed. But I do have it blown up for you. Got to watch real quick. I might be able to. At the beginning, you'll see whether or not he struck. And I say he struck. In the left hip, you'll see him raise his leg or his leg will get knocked backwards or both. And remember what I told you all about my friend who got hit in the knees with a car, didn't fall, but the car's airbags went off. You still hear the motor running. She got her foot pressed on the gas. I wish I could slow that down, but I can't. Oh well. Anyway, so that is the end of that person's existence. Now, speaking of somebody's existence, I didn't get his whole press conference, but I think this is where he's trying to save his butt. He's trying to save his butt by saying, "Oh, we don't give Donald Trump an excuse, and we all got to get along," and blah blah blah. But before this, he said, "We're at war." He said, "We're at war with the government, U.S. government." He mentioned about the agents. He said, "I've never seen such a untrained force. They came up and started touching the car." Did you all hear him say that? But that was after his claim that the agents were cruel because they didn't let a stranger come in and help the person out. But then he said, why did the agents go and touch the car? He's trying to build a case like the agents are belatedly putting their fingerprints on the car for a reason. He's trying to insinuate they were being nefarious. So anyway, here he is trying to tell everybody to be peaceful.
Will not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this: I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully, as you always do. We can't give them what they want. The hearts and minds of the people in this state are on our side. To Americans, I ask you this: please stand with Minneapolis.
Yeah, well, you incited it. You incited it, and I think that's going to be proven out. That's going to be proven out. What do y'all think? Is there enough there for him to be? Well, he's in trouble for a lot of stuff. He's in trouble for a lot of stuff. I don't think he's out of the woods for taking the kids to China. What he might have done there. What's his face? Jacob Frey. If you're angry, we're angry. If you are angry, we understand. We're angry too. If you're feeling despair, this is after all his insightful rhetoric. We are going to meet that injustice with constitutional justice ourselves. Oh, you're going to go after the ICE agent? You're going to try to charge the ICE agent? Good luck with that. And you know what? If Elon Musk hadn't bought Twitter and they were still allowed to censor things, put up edited videos, take down real videos, ban people from platforms, they would already have this like a George Floyd thing. That's where they would be at with this right now. Where's that Gutfeld one? Here, let me put Gutfeld up. Yeah, here's what Gutfeld's got to say about it.
I'm not interested in the moment that everybody is focusing on. I think that is the mistake that we always make, is that we come upon something and we focus on the moment. But we don't ask, how did we get George Floyd? How did we get Butler, Pennsylvania? How did we get Charlie Kirk? There's a whole events that get you here.
How did we get Ashley Babbitt? Don't leave that one out. Talk about somebody. Ashley Babbitt wasn't driving a 4,000-pound vehicle. Ashley Babbitt didn't have a. She wasn't face-to-face, eye-to-eye with somebody like this woman was with that agent she tried to run over. She tried to plow through. But you're allowed one mistake, Gutfeld.
Here, the deliberate mistake the media makes is they ignore what leads to the moment so they can seize the moment to create a narrative. You have a city on edge because that is the desired effect. The key word here, and it always is chaos, because chaos is what is desired. Okay, you want to see how we got here? Most of us know how we got here. There was a migrant crisis that was deliberately encouraged by our politicians for reasons that were financial and political. Went crazy. Trump wins. We bring in ICE agents to fix this problem. They are villainized because they are fixing the problem. We have politicians and activists demonizing people trying to do their jobs with protesters and rioters around to sow chaos. And they are organized and they are sponsored and paid for. The desired effect is this. They want this. This is a success. Do not be fooled by their emotion. This is how they do it. What do you expect? You amplify a directive that is designed to do one thing, which then becomes the rallying cry for more chaos. You get the new Michael Brown, the new George Floyd, the new Kent State. And this will be felt in cities wherever there is a progressive mayor. Getting Mamdani in, or whatever progressive mayor you got, it's not about the policies that I'm worried about. It's about the side they take when the rubber hits the road. What side do they take when people start looting? We knew what happened in New York with, what's his face? I can't even remember his name. Frankenstein, yeah. So the downside of progressive mayors, besides their complete ineptitude, is that they will always fan the flames of chaos because that's the side that they choose. But on the good side is, I think we're a different country than we were in 2020. We know how narratives work and why. We aren't going to let it happen again. Before, you had a silent majority sitting by while cities burned in the name of oppression because identity politics paralyzed us. Ain't happening anymore. thanks to Elon Musk and X, we're now seeing things as they happen. We know how the chaos unfolds. We know who's behind it. This is different. And before Twitter, before Musk bought Twitter, this would be a different story. It would be another incendiary event, and it might still be in some cities, but I don't think it's going to be the case here. So if you want to debate whether the shooting was justified or not, you can do that. But I don't think that's the story here, because that's for the courts to decide. That's for the departments to decide, and whether the police officer made the right decision. I can't. I'm just a talking head, but I can tell you about the context. I can tell you that we warned you about this.
And
Yeah, everybody warned about it. Tom Homan said they're going to get people killed. Tom Homan said that. And that's what you happened. The FBI came in and got some evidence and got the hell out of there. They started turning on the police. The police who have been kissing the protesters' rear ends. And how the hell do you get a mob like this without a coordinated action? Okay? And I'm going to tie it back to conspiracy, training camps, okay? People that have the leisure and time and wealth, air quotes, I'm using air quotes. Hey, you're wealthy if you don't have to worry about the eagle going doo-doo in your mailbox every month. You're getting money and you ain't got to do nothing for it. And then you get a bonus under the table for coming to these protests. What would make these two individuals, at least two, go all the way across the country and participate in this kind of nonsense? But anyway, here they are. In this clip, you might be able to see the Mexican flag, too, or a couple of Mexican flags. Oh, this is a candlelight vigil. What are you going to do? Build big statues to her like you did George Floyd? Well, you're not going to get the same response. You're not. People are wise. They're wise to it. They know you're full of it. No manufactured outrage. Oh, I'm going to play where they got to the courthouse raising hell. But before I do that, I've got in my title an assassination in Iran. I couldn't do the video because it shows the actual Iranian police commander Mahmoud Haqqat, however he said, assassinated by gunmen in drive-by shooting. And what you see two bullet holes in the window. I froze the frame right when two bullets struck. They're driving down the road side by side. A guy takes an AK, sticks it out the window, pop, 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 and keeps on popping until, let me see. Yeah, there he is going off the road. Mahmoud Haqqat. You see his car there hitting a tree, and you see the guy holding the AK. So, yeah. They're giving people $7 a month is what the Iranian government announced to try to quell the riots. $7 a month. Trump has pulled the plug on their money. He's not allowing them to do any business with Venezuela. He's embargoing their oil, and they're in big trouble. Now, this mob, here they are. Here, raged by what this Jacob Frey was saying, get the F out of our city, where he was inciting public hostility Tell me this isn't public hostility right here. He's calling for the violence in coded terms and directly in the past, and so is Tim Walsh.
Out now! Lights 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 out now!
Well, they're kind of limited in their vocabulary, but they broke a window. They stormed the courthouse. Insurrection, wouldn't you say, right after the anniversary of that terrible day where we all can't sleep at night thinking about the horrible, the whole government almost got overthrown. What a ridiculous construct. Let me see. I'll put this up by Eric Doherty. Oh, my screen won't work. That's great. Yeah, useful idiots. Well, some are who are paid. Who are paid? Let's see. Well, you know, I tell you what about PSYOPs. Remember the other day, the White House put out the words, "Patriots are in control." And I just showed you where the White House used the term false and then flag. Those are terms that came directly out of the White House. And I find it very interesting that one of the biggest traitors that this country ever had, who caused so many people to lose their lives for so many years, that he's gone. And I think his time was up. His time was up. And you know who probably punched his clock or gave the order? The U.S. markets just hit another all-time high. All of them. Thank you, Mr. Tariff. Pray that the United States Supreme Court allows our country to continue its unprecedented march toward unparalleled greatness, both our national and financial security. How many times you heard me say financial security have never been stronger? Financial security is national security. Well, about what happened. Let me see. Oh, this is a tweet from Trump. I mean, a truth. Why do I say tweet? In response to this creature right here. This creature once again reared her rather ugly. Man, there's a lot of them on the left. Let me find her. Oh my goodness. While I'm looking for that creature, here she is. Is it? There ought to be a law against it. That's all I can say. But listen to what she's saying about home ownership, about the color of people's skin. And she's in a position of power.
Democratically controlled public housing is really important. And that's why when Raquel is talking about the communities and that she's describing, that, you know, that's a created community where the people who are living there are like setting the agenda. And so, you know, people like home ownership because they like control, and that's been perverted by like deep racism and deep classism in our society. So like we have to not have a racist and classist society. And so that's like something we need to think about like deeply. But, you know, it's about control, and why rent control is really important is because rent control alters the power dynamic between renters and who owns the building. And
she used air quotes for people who air quote own the building, like it's some kind of a optional thing. For a very long time, buying and owning a home was considered the pinnacle of the American dream. It was the reward for working hard and doing the right thing. But now, because of record high inflation caused by Joe Biden and the Democrats in Congress, that American dream is increasingly out of reach for far too many people, especially younger Americans. It is for that reason and much more that I am immediately taking steps to ban large institutional investors. Who do you think he's talking about? How many times have we talked about what happened in Maui, what happened in California, what they were doing in New York during the illness? They were trying to drive private homeowners away and let certain companies like Black and then Rock come in and take them over. I'm immediately taking steps to ban large institutional investors from buying more single-family homes, and I will be calling on Congress to codify it. People live in homes, not corporations. I will discuss this topic, including further housing and affordability proposals and more at my speech in Davos in 2 weeks. That is when, is that when they're going to make their move? What did I just read to you all earlier? Where they said, we know what we need to do, we just need to do it? Huh? Sounds awful creepy of a statement to me. I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator. And the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the attached clip, it's hard to believe he is alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidences are happening is because the radical left is threatening Tim Walz, Jacob Frey, assaulting and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. They are just trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. President Donald J. Trump. So yeah, I used words that you Tizzle doesn't like. But oh well, they're words from the President of the United States. What's this one? Mayor Zoran. What's the rest of his name? Kwame Mamdani? I don't know what his name is. Zoran. I don't know what his whole name is. This morning, now this is according to Zoran, an ICE agent murdered a woman in Minneapolis. Oh boy. Only the latest horror in a year full of cruelty. As ICE attacks our neighbors across America, it is an attack on us all. Every day that follows. Oh, you stand with immigrants. How about citizens? How about law enforcement? How about standing with our Constitution? Those words are anthem. What's this one? Oh. Lakota Man. Attention, President Newsom or President Ocasio-Cortez or whoever in your damn dreams, Lakota Man. If need be, I'll gladly, proudly offer my services as an Oglala Lakota Man to help hunt down Kristi Noem and her cold-blooded killers at ICE for you after you win back our country for us. I'll bag them for you. Yeah, we will see about that, Lakota Man. I think you already got your beads and pieces of mirror and glass. You know, all the stuff you were mesmerized by when you sold your land. Your ancestors sold your land. I think you're already out of here. All right, you're lucky you got what you got. Put it that way. Who's this? Paul Sperry. Oh, the other thing that came out yesterday that got buried by this story. New records show U.S. Capitol Police Captain Michael Byrd, who fatally shot unarmed J6 protester Ashley Babbitt without warning, has been running an uncredited day. Wife, what's her name? Kaleska, from their Maryland home since 2008. Maryland records 190 million in HHS daycare funds. What is that? That's not one word out of this. Pow! Not one word out of this on the mainstream media about his daycare center. The one who shot Ashley Babbitt. Been running the intricate web we've discussed. Where is that one clip, I think? Here it is. Here it is. Wait a minute. Paul Sperry put this up. The article he put up with it. Bird's Family Daycare Brandywine. Care Lulu. Care Lulu. Daycares and preschools. Brandywine, Maryland. There they go. They say it's his own home. Can anybody say fraud? You know, I have to ask a serious question. You know, There's something wrong with these people. I mean, in a clinical sense, look at that face. How many times have I said she looks like she's been whacked in the face with a shovel? And you know I can't use flippantly the word we, and then Todd, T-A-W-D, W-E, we, Todd. I can't use that word in its normal way. But when you restrict something or deprive a plant of nutrients or water, it retards the growth of the plant, right? So there's something wrong with these people. The spread out eyeballs, the organic genetic anomalies that you see, and the stunted thinking. Representative Jayapal. Trump promised to get the U.S. out of wars. He lied. The hell are you talking about, woman? You talking about Venezuela? He has now plunged us into conflict in Venezuela, enacting regime change with no plan for what comes next. This is all about oil, greed, and power. Will come at a great cost to the American people. What the hell are you talking about? You had a narco state giving oil for a song to our international enemies like China and Cuba and Iran and Russia. Are you out of your damn mind? Who put that up? Well, Christina Guaya put it up. So, yeah, I think there is a genetic or cultural retardation in with this crowd. Window liquor on the short bus. Yeah, that's about right. Now, is there something going on else in the media? I don't know. This is Ann Navarro on the spew. On the spew. She's taken up in her own weird way.
Your question, who voted for this? The people in South Florida. The Venezuelan community, the Cuban American community, the Nicaraguan American community voted for this. And for us, this is a very, very happy day when we see a dictator who has been part of oppressing and abusing the Venezuelan people for 25 years, when we see him in handcuffs and held to some sort of accountability. It brought me into tears. It brought me great joy. And, you know, I live in South Florida.
But are you okay with the way that it was done?
But you can, I think both things can be true.
Okay.
I think you can criticize and ask questions and have concerns about the way it was done and what this means in the future.
Right.
And I think you can still celebrate that this murderous, corrupt, sadistic son of a bitch is out of Venezuela.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he has... I think there's 8 million Venezuelan exiles all over the world. People have fled from this man's tyrannical rule. So for me...
You know, and there's a lot of talk going around that this may have been a kill two birds, right, with one stone. It may have been a rescue mission, in a way. Remember the Mussolini comparison. His own government arrested and put him on a resort, a mountain resort. And then he was just going to let the war go by. You know, they were losing and losing bad. Then Hitler so-called rescued him. You could tell by the look on his face, he didn't want to leave. And you know what happened to Mussolini in the end. So they put him on that base. People are saying he got set up, he got stabbed in the back, all that kind of stuff. I think it was an extraction. The only way he got out alive is for U.S. forces to come and get him. And his vice president was in Russia the day of his the operation to get him out of there. Cuba surrounded him with their own men, and you know every single one of them was wiped out. The Venezuelan military didn't want the Cubans in there, and they wanted Maduro out. But anyway, here is one of Zohran Mamdani's disciples running for office.
I'm Maxime Duran, and I'm running for governor of Idaho in 2026 as an independent socialist candidate. Everyone belongs in Idaho, and I belong in that building.
Trans socialists in Idaho? Sounds like a long shot, but communism's spreading faster than TDS.
That's who wants to run your life. That's who wants to raise your children. That's who wants to tell you how big your house should be and where you can live and where you can work. Because that's what commies do. They like to run other people's lives. So who the hell would knowingly vote for this kind of crap? They're out there, though. But I got a nice little video for y'all. Right here. People's reactions. Felix, yeah, she got a deep voice. But I want to thank. Have you all noticed there were no commercials through this broadcast? I hope you all remembered to give me a thumbs up because I went the whole video and forgot to remind everybody to give me a thumbs up. And Wayne was the last one to go buy me a coffee a couple of days ago. Wayne, I appreciate it. Kaboom, man. People that helped out so far is Mike and Bev, Norm, Aaron, Roland, and Hilarious too, and Cole. So booms to you all for going to buy me a coffee cup. Boom! Pow! All right. So I do like my bombs going off. But anyway, let me see. If I can do it real quick, if I can, I won't do it. Anybody who wants to help out, there it is, with Buy Me a Coffee. I've got a link in the description at the 146 mark. If anybody wants to help out, I do appreciate it. And I got this funny little video for you all that I hope you enjoy. If you see it after the live stream and this video is gone, that means I got in trouble for it. Or it may have no sound if they allow me to keep it up, but I had to edit the music out. So anyway, folks, I do appreciate you all spending your precious time with me. So you all have a great night. Enjoy this video. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.